John in Connecticut. What's going on, John?
Hey, Eddie, what's up, man? How you doing? Long time, first time.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
Listen, big fan. I really like everything you do for us for rock and roll. I really do. Big fan.
Thank you, John.
So, real quick, I'm from Long Island, live in Connecticut now. Sebastian Bach, coming on tour now. He's playing a local venue up here in Connecticut, Stafford. It's about a 400 or 500 seat venue.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to see him. Can't wait to see him. The next thing is Aerosmith. Next week, I know you're going to be in Vegas. The 24th, we're going to be at that show. If you find yourself available, give me a ring and we'll have a cocktail.
I won't be at that show. I'll be the 24th is next Monday.
Next Monday, right?
And I'll be flying to L.A. next Monday, doing my show from the Rainbow on Tuesday. But I do plan to go to Aerosmith. If not that Thursday, I'm definitely going on that Tuesday, which is like the 2nd of July.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome. We're going to be there the 24th. I know you were going to head out there. I just didn't know the right time.
Yeah, and I'll be in the air going to L.A. at that time.
All right.
Thank you, John.
Like I said, that's it, man. Have a great night.
Thanks, you too. Thanks for listening, and enjoy those shows. Let's grab Shane in Alabama. Go ahead, Shane.
Hey, Ed, how you doing?
Good, buddy.
Hey, is John Sykes getting any compensation from the Here I Go Again that's on TV every 15 minutes? And the Triumph film, is that being done by Banger Films?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so those guys do great work. They did Rush, Beyond the Lighted Stage, Maiden 666, Headbanger's Journey. Yes, the same guys are doing the Triumph doc. And your question about Whitesnake, Here I Go Again in that Geico commercial nonstop. The deal is with this, Shane, that is a song that was not written by John. It was a song from the 87 record. There are 2 songs on that record that were remakes of old Whitesnake songs long before John was ever in the band, and those were Here I Go Again and Crying in the Rain. So John would not get writers money for that because he did not. Those are only the 2 songs on that record. He had nothing to do with writing.
Well, I'll be damned. I thought he had a co-writing on Here I Go Again.
Nope. Every song on 87 he co-wrote with Coverdale except Crying in the Rain and Here I Go Again. If you go back into the Whitesnake catalog, I think the Love Hunter record, I forget exactly what records those songs are on, but you will see that Whitesnake actually recorded those songs with different lineups, and when they did 87, those are 2 songs that they brought back from the early Whitesnake records and did redone versions. Now, John plays on them. On Here I Go Again, he does not play the guitar solo, though. That's the only song on the record he doesn't play the guitar solo.
Yeah, Adrian Vandenberg.
Right, but he does play rhythm guitar on it, so I don't know if there's any sort of royalty for that. But if they would have used Is This Love or Still of the Night, those are songs he co-wrote that he absolutely would have had to clear and be paid on.
So Coverdale has all the publishing, so he's getting all the cha-ching.
Well, in the case of that song, he co-wrote it with, I think, Bernie Marsden. Yeah, one of those guys. So David has his portion of the publishing for the things he wrote, which is a co-write at least on every single song in the catalog, for sure, yeah.
I appreciate you answering my question, and because that damn week that they play it the hell out of down here in Alabama.
They do. Thank you, Shane, for the call. Let me tell you something, man, about Geico. When they go on a commercial campaign, they pound those commercials. I mean, when they were doing the final countdown with Europe, how many times did you see that? This one with Here I Go Again is on constantly. Like, I'm not in marketing and advertising, but I never understood that because after like the 50th time, it goes from being fun and cute to being really annoying. But they just go crazy with pounding it. But hey, it's great for the bands. Although it might not be as much money as you think when those things happen, because you can do, when you want to use a song for a commercial, you can cut a deal in what's called a buyout, meaning that instead of paying per use, meaning every time the thing runs, you can just make a flat sum of money and say to the artist, hey, I'm going to pay you this amount, and we get to use the song and run the commercial for like 2 years. So it's a flat fee instead of every time. So the deals differ. Dr. Steve just texted me and wrote, the horn thing is no joke. I x-rayed a 12-year-old female this morning that had that growth you just spoke about from the cell phones. The story made Good Morning America this morning, and no kidding, a mom brought her daughter in to be evaluated because she was worried about a nodule she felt. Crazy but real. Bone reacts to stress, and the skull and neck are basically a bowling ball and pencil. So a ton of stress on it when looking down. It's unbelievable. We are growing horns because of cell phones. It is a thing, folks. Amazing. Steve in Tampa. Go ahead, buddy.
Thanks for taking my call twice in 1 week. We were talking about
follow that. Follow horns. Follow horns growing out of your head, Steve.
Oh, Conyo, I can't. I'd rather follow lewds.
Right. Exactly.
Than illegal.
Right.
And in '81, the guy that I got my Van Halen Fair Warning tickets from, he did lewds. So, again, thanks for working today with your shingles, and hopefully that's not going to hinder you too much.
Well, the doctor tells me the worst of it is behind me. I feel good when I'm on the air, although yesterday, as soon as I got off the air, I just completely collapsed. But hopefully the worst is behind. But thank you, Steve. What's on your mind today?
Well, we had talked about many things. And, hey, real quick, I had emailed you a couple things back on YouTube, a link, Baxter and Mark Chronicles. I don't want to spend too much time on that on YouTube, but it's kind of like a private parts in microcosm about the guys. They were a team I worked with on their last radio station when I did commercial radio. But the point I wanted to make, I wondered if you got that. It's a YouTube link. But the point I wanted to make is, on the Monday when I called you, people don't realize we own the airwaves, you know. And the other question I wanted to get, whenever I hear Howard and Robin talking about the top of the hour ID in college radio, and I was wondering if it came that in commercial radio, your program director had you like thinking the FCC was roaming the countryside, making sure you did that at the top of the hour.
Well, yeah, the legal ID is still a thing. You have to announce, you have to do, in terrestrial radio, you have to legally identify where your transmitter is and where you're broadcasting from. That's why if you've listened to FM radio or even AM radio, usually within 5 minutes before or after the top of the hour, it's, broadcasting from New York City, whatever it is. That's a legal thing. That is still a thing, yeah.
But, again, the point I want to make the other day is the public doesn't realize we own the airwaves, and now only a couple corporations are profiting from that. And, again, write it down, the Baxter and Mark Chronicles. I don't want to – it's on YouTube. I send it. It's basically private parts in microcosm if you're into radio stories.
All right. Well, I'll check out my emails. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm a little behind on doing a lot of things just because I've been dealing with this – this shingles thing and just trying to get through it, which apparently, like I said, my doctor says I'm through the worst of it, but I got floored when I got off the air yesterday, which is like a flu or something. Just crazy. This is Dave, who's in New York. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Ed, how you doing? I called you because you started talking about the shingles. You sound like you were lucky like me. I had it for about 1.5 days. I went to the doctors for something else, and he saw me broke out on my shoulders, and he gave me this marvelous medicine, and it cured me right away.
Yeah, there's no cure for it, but if you can get on the medicine early enough, it can knock it back a little bit. And I just didn't get the breakout, which is huge. But I have been out of it for 3-4 weeks. It's a bitch. I would tell anybody out there, if you ever had the deal is if you had the chicken pox, you can get it later in life. So if you had chicken pox when you were a kid, and you're like past even 40 years old, I would absolutely get the vaccine because depending upon.
I already did.
Yeah, depending upon, how bad you can get it, it can knock you on your ass for a month. I was saying this the other day. Will Hunt, who is the drummer in Evanescence, and they can show up anywhere. He had him on his hands, and he's a drummer. And that's just, cost him work. I mean, super debilitating. So, yeah, it's no joke. I've heard about it. I never even understood really what it was until it hits you. Often you don't really pay attention to these things. So definitely public service to those guys, to everybody out there, that something to keep an eye on if you ever had chickenpox as a kid.
Yeah, I got a couple other things quick, and I'm going to let you go.
Go ahead.
And the cell phone thing, I'm totally with, not having them in there. And these people say they spend all this money on the ticket to see this band. Then see the band. Don't record them. That's my opinion.
Yeah, Dave, see, I am sympathetic to the person who, because in a way, and it depends, like when we were having this conversation the other day, to me, a lot of it is within reason. To me, I think it's just a case, and thank you, Dave, for the call, of applying common sense. I don't think it's out of line to snap off a couple photos during a concert. I don't think it's out of line to even grab 30 seconds of video of a favorite song or moment. There's nothing wrong with that. It's no different, honestly, than before cell phones, when people would bring a little Instamatic camera or smuggle a bigger camera in and just snap off some photos when no one was looking. That's been happening forever. There's really nothing wrong with that. The problem comes in when people block your line of sight, have the phone up the whole time, videoing full songs, interfering with your ability to watch the show, videoing the whole show, whatever. If they are in the line of sight where they interfere with people, if they're up in the rafters or there's nobody behind them, they're in the last row of the section where there's nothing behind them than a wall,